And investment in Qatar forum here in New York City. We're talking about investing in Qatar. Trade between the U.S. and the Arab Emirate stood at $3.62 billion last year. That's up from $3.22 billion in the previous year. My next guest says trade between the two countries will continue to grow as U.S. companies ranging from energy to banking and finance and technology pump more money into Qatar. Here to tell us why it's a good place to invest right now is our Sitharaman. He is chief executive of the Doha Bank Group. He joins me now for an exclusive interview. Sitharaman, good to have you on the program.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us. You say that the Qatar Forum will further boost trade between the U.S. and Qatar, but let me take a step back here first and talk to you about what's been going on in the neighboring regions, of course, and the Middle East uprising, whether it's Egypt or Tunisia, and of course we're talking and focused on Libya. How has the uprising affected the landscape economically in Qatar?
Well, it had definite downturn impact. If you look at it, up to 25th of January, we had a very positive momentum in the entire financial market, stock market or a bond market. After the Egypt uprising, we had huge setbacks for the financial markets, and the credit default swap rate has increased. The stock market has taken a downturn en bloc over 15 to 16%. That is not a good interpretation of the market sentiments. But people mixed up Egypt and Tunisia with Abu Dhabi and Qatar. These Gulf states have got $1 trillion basket. They have fiscal surplus, current account surplus with the oil price costing over $100. They have mass opportunities to respond to the challenges they have. And definitely now the market has recovered and we are back in track. Now, year to date, if you look at it, financial market, especially stock market, it's back to square.
Are you seeing the kind of uprising in Qatar that we're seeing in other regions, like in Bahrain?
No, Qatar saw the transformation 15 years before in terms of social progression, healthcare, education, and again, in terms of sustainable economic progression, they have demonstrated they can run in fiscal surplus, current account surplus. They also seen the diversification in the form of investments. So non-hydrocarbon is going to play a bigger role. In terms of political progression, they have got stability. They have taken enough leadership in Sudan or Darfur or Lebanon, and they have Security Council presidency. Now, there are reasons to believe Qatar is the jewel in the GCC.
Let me ask you what's going on right now in terms of the landscape and in terms of banking. Talk to us about commercial banking. What are you seeing from Doha Bank? And of course, I know that you've got a big, in the country, you've got the World Cup coming up in 2022. So there's going to be a capital investment in infrastructure. Will Doha Bank be part of that financing? But now you've got a public-private partnership. Talk to us about the changes in the banking sector in Qatar.
Absolutely. We have a clear public-private partnership model. The financial stability has been the key. The government has got over 16% stake in all the local banks. They also made sure we go to the stress test, whether investments or real estates, we have been fully supported by the government. And that has given us enough liquidity as well as profitability. Now, we have to look at the prudential systems. Now, governing principles are de-license yourself from Islamic, concentrate on your basics banking. Conventional banking or Islamic banking, not both. Hybrid model is not working. So when it comes to FIFA 2022, we have huge infrastructure creations. Almost in the next 5 years, Vision 2030 was drawn. In the next 5 years, we have Vision 2011 to 2016, we are going to have $820 billion expenses, out of which nearly $389 billion is going to come from non-hydrocarbon. $65 billion has been committed only for the sports, FIFA. That is going to revitalize the project space, contract financing, and again, the real opportunity in terms as a local bank for the various trade cycles. That is the opportunity we have in terms of, but the macroeconomic fundamentals are strong. Qatar is going to sustain 78% GDP growth, and they're going to run in fiscal and current account surplus.
Let me ask you a question about the growth rate and where it goes, because we all know that Qatar has seen the best growth in the world today, 20% GDP. But that's also not only due to the LNG and the gas revenue, but also due to this buildup in infrastructure ahead of the World Cup. What happens when the spending is finished? I mean, are you expecting a collapse in economic GDP?
No, we need a soft landing. Conceptually, the graph is always ascending because we maximized our production in terms of LNG. oil as well as petrochemicals. So that's precisely the reason we want to diversify. We want to invest in sectors where there is no hydrocarbon. World over, investment partnership, joint ventures in non-oil and non-hydrocarbon sectors. That is going to balance the growth. We are going to have a clear roadmap for us to have 7 to 8% sustainable journey in the coming days.
Seider Rahman, good to have you on the program. We so appreciate it.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we go from the Middle East now to Europe and concerns around Portugal. Let's get right now to Simon Hobbs. He has breaking news on the possibility of